While in the university, I loved finding snakes. I was a biology student, so a friend from the herpetology club showed me this road that he would cruise for snakes. Cruising is when you drive really slowly down old back roads after dark, looking for snakes that have slithered onto the warmer road to heat up. The road we took was about 4 miles and had around 4 houses on its entirety. We had taken a few laps on this road and were making our final pass. There are 2 houses near the beginning of the road, one at the end and one near the middle. We were getting close to the center house when we see movement on the left side of the road. There are a lot of animals obviously on this road, so we aren't surprised to see this. However, what shoots out is this kid, probably around 8 or 9, in torn blue jeans and a ripped, dark t-shirt. He takes one look at us and his face is a mix of fear and pain. He looked back really quickly from where he had come, and then booked it across the road. The guy I'm with gets out of the car chasing to see if he's alright, and I pull the car up to the point where the boy went into the woods. I'm starting to get out of the car when my friend walks quickly back from the trail and just says, "Let's go, now." We hop into the car and tear out of there. He says there is a graveyard about 10 yards into the woods, and there are 5 gravestones with the same death date. They all had the same last name, and one was a boy who was 9. We never came back the rest of the summer to that road. The next year when my friend had graduated, I took my girlfriend out to the road. We had gone early to try to find different types of snakes. We got to the house near the graveyard and there's 3 men doing some yard work. I rolled down the window and explained what I was doing and asked them about the graveyard. Apparently their dad's brother's family had all died when their space heater caught fire around 20 years ago. I kept pushing and asking them about it, and they told me the firemen or whoever does it had found all the bodies in the rubble except for the youngest son, but they assumed he was far too burned. I asked if they had a younger brother, and the 6'4", 250-pound man said that he was the youngest. When I gave a description of the kid I saw, they all went white. They have individually seen this kid I was talking about, and he always runs to the gravesite. I have never gone down that road again. I used to drive between San Francisco and Cheyenne, Wyoming a lot of the times. It's about a 16 to 20 hours of driving depending on the weather. My second time driving that route, I was driving at night when suddenly my truck starts to make this odd grinding noise. It sounded like if I had run over something and it got stuck. It's about 2 a.m., and I pull up to a very well lit rest stop, and I wake up my buddy who had been sleeping the whole time. As we both make our way out of the vehicle, I started to explain to him the situation about the grinding noise, when we started to hear what sounded like a kid crying. There's not a car in sight besides ours. At the same time, we had heard of frequent stories of child trafficking and kidnappings nearby, so we decided to check it out. We grabbed our flashlights and made our way towards the bathroom since the noise seemed to be coming from there. As we get closer, we realize it was coming from the women's bathroom. It's a low, dull sobbing, and we were prepared for the worst. We walked in expecting to see someone brutally beaten or worse, and we see nothing, but only hear the sound. It is still there, but there's no one there. It's completely empty. We turned on the lights and still, nothing. We checked each stall just to be sure, and nothing. We even looked at exactly where the noise was coming from, and again, nothing. Is it a hidden camera? A speaker? My buddy sees a small window and opens it up, and the noise deceased. We stood there for a few moments, and the window slammed shut on its own, and then the crying begins again. We were out of the bathroom in seconds, and as we ran towards the truck, you could still hear the crying. Of course, the grinding noise is still there, so this time I pulled up to another rest stop just a few miles away, where we checked underneath and saw some sort of red and silver metal stuck right in there, although we couldn't get it out. A few days later, I took it to a mechanic buddy of mine and he told me that the piece of scrap metal that was stuck was part of a kid's bicycle. I don't know if this is somehow related to our experience, but it was one of those moments for me that I will never forget.